Hey everybody, welcome to Humor and History. Hope you're all doing well. This is the incredible history of 8 London streets. So this should be interesting. I did get about 46 seconds into this and I was recording until I realized there's copyright music on there. So I think I got it at the right spot. I haven't seen this in advance, so let's just get on with this. Tower Hill?
For 4 centuries, Tower Hill was where nobles imprisoned in the Tower of London here met their gruesome ends. The street hosted its first public execution in 1381 when the Archbishop of Canterbury, Simon Sudbury, had his head hacked off by a mob in the Peasants' Revolt.
The last was the beheading of the Scottish Jacobite rebel Simon Fraser, 11th Lord Lovat, in 1747.
Ooh.
But there's more to Tower Hill than gory spectacle. One of the oldest parts of the city, it was the site of a Bronze Age settlement and is also home to remnants of the London Wall, built by the Romans to protect the city around 200 AD.
Wow.
Cute couple alert.
Okay. All right, that's interesting. So I wonder how long it took to hack somebody's head off. And what they specifically used. Just curious.
Part of the old Roman road to Colchester, Whitechapel Road has long been associated with the Whitechapel murders, attributed to Jack the Ripper.
Oh.
In 1888, the body of one of the first victims, Martha Tabram, was found stabbed 39 times in the street's George Yard building.
Was that picture of that area still there? Is it?
Around the same time, Joseph Merrick, known as the Elephant Man, was displayed here as an attraction in the back room of a shop and later moved into the Royal London Hospital opposite.
Oh my God.
In 1936, Oswald Mosley and his British Union of Fascists were blocked from marching along Whitechapel Road during the Battle of Cable Street. The road's Blind Beggar pub.
That's interesting. I didn't know. Okay.
It's also famous as the spot where both the Salvation Army began in 1865 and where, 100 years later, the notorious gangster Ronnie Kray shot rival George Cornell.
Never heard of Ronnie Kray. Who's Ronnie Kray, if you don't mind me asking? If you let me know in the comments. Sorry for freezing it there. That's all really close.
The ancient heart of the UK capital,
Cornhill.
The City of London is brimming with history, and Cornhill is one of the most important thoroughfares.
At one end sits the
too big for you,
neoclassical
honey.
Royal Exchange building, once a hub for city traders. At the other is the Christopher Wren 1667 St Peter upon Cornhill Church, which claims to occupy London's oldest Christian site, dating
Really?
from 179 AD.
Running off it, Change Alley was the site of Jonathan's and Garraway's coffee houses, where the city's original traders started in the 17th century. The former was the first place to post share and commodity prices in 1698, while the latter was the first place in England to sell tea.
Okay. Cool. All right. Across the Thames.
Just south of the river, Tooley Street gets its name from the now demolished St Olaf's Church, itself named after Norway's King Olaf. In the 11th century, the future Norwegian
I don't know why. I don't get the name.
monarch helped England's Ethelred the Unready against the city's Danish occupiers by pulling down nearby London Bridge with his longboats.
In 18...
Why Tooley though? What's they're two different names. I don't understand. And forgive me for being ignorant, I just don't know.
1861, the Tooley Street fire devastated the area. The blaze took 2 weeks to fully put out and led to the establishment of the capital's public-run fire brigade. In 1921, it was Ernest Shackleton's Polar Explorer vessel Quest, which was refitted here in Hayes Wharf.
Famous residents here have included the romantic poet John Keats, who lived nearby while studying medicine, and George Orwell, who slept in a Tooley Street doss house before writing Down and Out in Paris and London.
Nice. Okay, cool. Just so you know, I think George Harrison lived up there somewhere. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he lived up there. What was that? Cracker Jack No, that's the song. Never mind.
Not exactly a street, but this London thoroughfare oozes history from every pavement crack.
Dominated by the 52-metre Nelson's Column and flanked by the National Gallery, home to myriad old masters, the site was once prowled by cave lions, rhinos, elephants and hippos,
That's
according
crazy.
to excavation work. More recently, it's been the site of political rebellion. In 1848, the Chartist riots for social reform started in this square, and suffragettes were planting bombs here in 1913 and 1914. Anti-nuclear, anti-apartheid, anti-poll tax, anti-war, and even anti-lockdown demos have all followed.
What was the first one she said? I've never heard of that before. It started with I think a C or CH. Well, I can't stop the video, but if you know what it is, I would love for you guys to tell me what that was, the first demonstration. Trafalgar Square, yeah.
Whitehall takes its name from the Palace of Whitehall, where Henry VIII lived, died and married both Anne Boleyn and Jane Seymour. Charles I was headed outside its banqueting house, which is the only part that survives after fire destroyed the palace in 1698.
I did not know it. That was where Henry VIII married to. Okay, cool.
So Robert Peel set up HQ at number 4 when starting his police force in 1829, and the premises later became known as Scotland Yard. Synonymous with
Really?
UK government and home to numerous ministries, Whitehall has been a target for terrorists over the years. In 1991, the Provisional IRA fired mortars from Whitehall onto the adjacent Downing Street, one of them exploding in the gardens of number 10.
Below ground, a network of secret bunkers built since the Second World War are designed to keep the country running in the event of an emergency.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I have to ask. I had a question. That's cool about the bunkers. Why do they call it Scotland Yard? And I know I'm an American, but guys, I'm here to learn. I really don't know. It's called Scotland Yard. Fair enough. What does it have to do with Scotland? And why do they call it a yard? Is it, to us, a yard is a section of grass. So is that like Scotland would be like the name sake of the area, and then a yard meaning like section? Sorry, I just don't live there, so I don't really know. I've always wondered that. To me, it sounded weird, like I just never knew. Great Marlborough Street.
Developed in the start of the 18th century and named after the military commander John Churchill, the first Duke of Marlborough, this Soho Road has been home to peers such as Lord Nelson and scientists such as Henry Cavendish and Charles Darwin.
Philip
Henry
Morris,
Cavendish.
which owned a factory here in 1881, named its Marlborough cigarettes after the street.
I thought so.
Number 20 and 21, now a hotel, once housed the Marlborough Street Magistrates Court, where Charles Dickens worked as a reporter and Oscar Wilde stood trial in 1895.
I love your buildings, by the way. I do. I love the architecture that you guys have created there.
Rock stars John Lennon, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards have all faced a judge here too.
That's cool.
Further
Piccadilly,
west,
there you
Upmarket
go.
Piccadilly has been a major London artery since the Middle Ages. Its name comes from local tailor and landowner Robert Baker, who made his
The Middle Ages? And what does Baker have to do with Piccadilly? You know what? I stopped it too soon.
fortune here by selling piccadilles. These were big lace collars which were trendy in the 17th century, and he lived in Piccadilly Hall.
Wow. Has anyone ever worn one of those? I'm sure they gotta feel weird, but we have some pretty weird fashion trends right now, so why not?
Over the years, this long, wide street has been home to aristocrats, various members of the Rothschild family, and even Count Dracula in Bram Stoker's 1897 novel. St James's Hall, which was demolished in 1905, hosted readings by Dickens and concerts by Tchaikovsky.
Nice.
Fortnum and Mason opened in 1705, the Ritz Hotel opened in 1906, and the Royal Academy of Arts continue to provide links to its prestigious past.
So there you have it, London's most historic streets. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to click subscribe.
You too, guys. By the way, did she miss anything in there? I'm just curious if maybe there was something that you thought was maybe more important. She gave like four topics per street. So was there something that you maybe that was worth saying that she didn't say. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Cheers.